I'm Vishnupad. I'm the Dean of School of Liberal Arts and Social Science. In India, for a variety of historical reasons, there has been a drive towards engineering or medicine, right? One of the things you notice, obviously, is that, students do not know why they are going there. In some ways, the point is that as a 17 and an 18-year-old, you're not supposed to know, right? I mean, you take some time to grow and so forth. What liberal arts does is precisely that. Liberal arts literally is about, it's literally about, coming to terms with one's own self, right? And it's about giving students or these young, adults the space or time to literally think through what they want to do with themselves. So in some ways, it's literally about intellectual, emotional, and ethical growth into a young adult and so on. And so far as that is concerned, liberal arts gives you that space to be with oneself. Liberal arts is about a holistic form of education, which in some ways allows students, as I said, first and foremost, literally. I mean, an 18-year-old is incredibly angst-ridden, a person, with pressure from all sides, be it family, parents, society, friends, and whatnot. It is in that context, what kind of education can you give them such that they can do two things. So one is that they come to terms with themselves to begin with, but also in the process be trained in something such that after 4 years of education, they can go out to the world and earn their living and so on. The idea of interdisciplinarity, the idea that it's unclear to me as to, what, different places understand by it, or what different people understand by the idea of what is interdisciplinary and so forth. In our case, it has to do with collaborative research work amongst the various department faculty members, be it from sociology or political science or economists, working together, on a certain issue and so forth. One of the reasons as to why we think that is absolutely essential is that some 30, 40 years ago, critical social science academia figured out these systems of knowledges have, let's say, European sort of origins and so on, right? To make it useful and adequate to what they are trying to understand in the context of a country such as India, or society such as India, it has to break the disciplinary boundaries to make sense of what's there on the ground. So that's one of the ways in which you're thinking through, working one's way through these various disciplines and so forth. The other thing I would quickly like to mention is that there are ways in which it's also a question of working across the social science and the natural science divide. What we are trying to establish here with this Center of Media Studies and so forth is precisely, social scientists as well as, engineers who are working on artificial intelligence and machine learning or Internet of Things or all kinds of other technologies and so on, coming together, where these engineers don't see them simply as technical objects, they're rather social objects. So interdisciplinarity in that sense works on so many different registers, one being, bringing literally faculty or intellectuals from both sides.